So if you're watching the replay, thank you for coming in. Please hit the thumbs up, share it out, so that it would definitely help my channel. Let's wait for some people to come in. I have not gone live in a while. It's been a long while. Hey, David, how are you? Thanks for coming in. It's been a long time. I haven't been live in a long time. I think before the winter last year. Hello, God's desire for me. Thank you for coming in. I was just saying how I have not been live in a long time on my own channel. I've been a guest on other people's channel, but I have not been live, in a long time. I usually take the winter off, so when I take the winter off, I don't do lives. I don't make too many videos. I really just take a break. So this is like my first live since last, what, fall maybe. So it really took some, how should I say, like boosting of my self-confidence to get back in it. I don't know why. Like it's not like this is new to me. I go on other people's channels all the time, but when it's my own live, it's like something is like nerve-wracking about it. I don't know what it is. Um all right, so everybody is coming in. David Gray, thanks for coming in. God's desire for me, Suzanne, Karen, my Renaissance grandma. Thank you guys for coming in. Troy, hello, hello. Hello, Jennifer Ocean. Heather with Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, Broken Hearts Ministry, Gail. Tina with Life in the Piedmont. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Hello, Christy. Thanks for coming over, you guys. Dee's Garden Adventures. Yeah, so like I said, it's been a long time. I didn't have a topic per se that I really wanted to talk about. I just kind of was like, you know what? I need to just go ahead and start these lives back up. So whatever we decide to talk about is whatever. So if you guys want to join me, you are more than welcome. I can put the link in the chat. Let's see. All right, so there's the link in the chat if you guys feel like you are brave enough or uh, would just like to come up and chat. That's fine with me. I was just out today early. I was out early today because I had a very early dentist appointment, and my whole side of my face was numb. And it was so funny because earlier I was trying to talk to my sister, and like I could not move my side of my face, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I just came for the dentist. It was funny, but I'm bad with the dentist. I don't know about you guys, but I am really bad with the dentist. Hey, Kathy. Everybody saying hello to everybody. So yeah, the heat wave finally simmered down a little bit here. We were like in the 90s for maybe like a straight week. And then finally we got down to some rain. I think it might have been one good thing about having no teeth is never having to go to the dentist. Yeah, we finally got some rain, and I was so happy for that because my rain barrel was just, it was empty. And I don't like to use the hose if I don't have to. Um, and when it gets really hot like that, I just try to like spot water. I'll fill up my watering can from my rain barrel and I'll just do right at the base of each plant, so that I'm not just wasting the water or watering weeds for that matter. So yeah, I was spot watering, but I have a lot of plants out there more than I realized, and they all need a nice deep watering when it's hot like that. So my rain barrel was down to the bottom. I couldn't even fill my um, watering can anymore because the water was too low in the rain barrel. And I was like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna have to get the hose out. So that's when I was getting ready to fertilize because we had got a little bit cooler that day. It was like in the between 70 and 80. And I decided, yeah, now's the perfect time to get some fertilizing out because when it's really hot like that and you try to fertilize your plants, you can just cause them more stress. So I don't want to cause them more stress than they're already stressed under the heat. But I did want to get them some fertilizing because it had been a long time. Heat index is down to 88 instead of 105 like it was earlier. Yeah, the heat index. So the temperature was probably, it was 90s, but with the heat index, it was, I think one day it was like 104. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. I can't go out there. Christy says, yeah, I haul water in. It's so hot and dry. I need God to water. Absolutely. When it started watering, I mean, when it started raining, I was like, oh, yes, finally. And it was a good, like, downpour for, a while. So it was really nice. And I was excited because I know that my rain barrel was filling back up too. So last night um, after the sun went down and it cooled off, it got nice and cool. It got down to like 69 last night. So I was like, wow, this feels great. And the night that it was supposed to rain, it was supposed to rain after like 10, but it didn't come at 10. And I was like, oh no, is it gonna miss us? Because sometimes we're close to the lake, so sometimes it'll just go over the lake and then we won't even get the rain. And I'm waiting for the rain all day. It's like, so I was glad. I got a little nervous though after 10 o'clock when it didn't start raining, and I started to look at the radar again, and I was like, "Oh no, is it going to pass us? Is it going to fly? Is it going to go over the lake instead?" And but then I saw that the time had changed, and it was going to rain after midnight, so it did, and I was so glad. Some places are going through a really bad drought right now. That's why it's so important to harvest the rain and harvest the water. It's a beautiful day here today. Humidity is gone, rain is gone, a bit windy, but so beautiful. I love those kind of mildly windy days when the sun is warm and the air is breezy, and it's just a perfect combination. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, if you guys have a community tab, you can share it out and we can chat about, oh my goodness. Heat index supposed to be 111 tomorrow. Wow. I think we're supposed to get some more rain tonight, and we're supposed to get some rain tomorrow too. So I'm hopeful for that because I just actually succession sowed some more seeds because I was dealing with a cucumber beetle problem. So, because I was dealing with a cucumber beetle problem, I was afraid that they were going to take my plants out because what cucumber beetles do is they carry a disease like I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's a bacterial wilt disease. Okay, And when they start to eat away at your plants, they inject that disease and they spread it from one plant to the next as they're going to your plants. So, and then once they have mated, they go down to the roots of your plants and they lay eggs. And when those eggs hatch, they feast on the roots of your cucumbers, melons, squash, anything in the cucurbit family. So when I started to see the like infestation of the cucumber beetles, I got a little nervous and I was like, oh my gosh, because I have been decimated by vine borers like every year the past few years. So I stopped planting squash. Last year I didn't even get any cucumbers. So I was pretty, pretty bummed about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to plant any squash for, anymore. So until I decide that, I decide. And I took about 2 years off. I didn't plant any squash. So the vine borers would hatch and realize that there's no squash here. So then they would leave. And that way, that would give my soil enough time to cleanse itself. So everything would hatch, and once there's nothing for it to eat, then they either die off or they have to go away and find something else to eat because there's nothing here. So that was my plan. I took the 2 years off. I didn't plant any squash. And then finally this year, I said, you know what? It's been 2 years. I'm going to go ahead and try it again. So I went ahead and I tried a few different ones. I got some zucchini, some yellow squash, and I think that was it for this year. I didn't want to overdo it, but I did plant a lot of pickle bush cucumbers, and they're not doing so well. I also planted watermelons, cantaloupes. Um, hey, Susan, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I planted some watermelons. I actually got some seeds from the heirloom seeds. I had shared it before when I was doing the seed swap. So there was the heirloom seed company, and you send in a donation or you don't. It's not mandatory, but if you send in a donation, your seeds will come out quicker because naturally they will fill the seed orders for the donations first. So I sent in my donation. I chose the seeds that I wanted, and they sent me. I think they pretty much sent me all the seeds that I put on my list. So one of the seeds was an heirloom melon. It was called a white Crenshaw melon. So I was like, wow, that looks pretty interesting. And I believe it was a short maturity date, maybe like 80 days or so. And where I'm at, I need short maturity dates because I don't have a really long growing season. I think it's maybe 175 days at the most. I can extend it. I can use row covers and hoop houses, greenhouses, things like that to make my season longer. But as far as the regular season is concerned, it's 175 days. So I try to grow things that are, less than 100 days, because I want to still be able to harvest it while the weather is still nice, not trying to race the frost date. I have the Crenshaw melon growing. Okay, these garden adventures. How is your Crenshaw melon doing? Mine is just now starting to take off. I don't have any flowers on them yet. They're just now starting to vine. Um, they're just now starting to really get some good growth on them. They were really small at first, like not growing fast, but now I feel like every time I go out there, the vines are just a little bit longer. So I think the heat definitely plays a role in growing melons. They absolutely love the heat. So that's one plus about all the heat. I love seed exchanges, but never any in Canada. I also don't have seeds I don't want. I'm trying to build up as much as possible for next year, but they are awesome for people who have ones they don't want. Yeah. Well, I actually have I have a ton of seeds. I have a huge box, couple boxes full of seeds. And hello, Urban Garden Chronicles. Thank you for coming in. Um, I associate Crenshaw with squash and pumpkin. Never heard of Crenshaw melons. Interesting. Yeah, it's a white Crenshaw melon. So I thought it was interesting too, so that's why I picked it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is 80 days to maturity. Um, let's see if I can pull up a picture. But the heirloom seed company, I love because it's all heirloom seeds. So I love heirloom seeds whenever I can get a chance to grow heirloom seeds. I think it's kind of it's more like a cantaloupe or something. I don't know. Okay, here is trying to pick the best picture. Some of them just say Crenshaw melon, and then some of them actually say white Crenshaw melon. So let's see. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so that's what the white Crenshaw melon looks like. Let me take that comment down. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I like melons. I like to, I love melons, watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydew, all the melons. So the white Crenshaw melon is an improved Crenshaw with a very creamy light peach to white flesh that is perfectly sweet for long summer days. The variety has a very sweet, juicy flavor that is a fan favorite. This melon produces excellent foliage and is great for both market production and home gardening. So yeah, I said, looks like something I would want to grow. I like sweet melons. Definitely like sweet melons. So it looks good. I got flowers getting ready to open. It seems to grow fast after it gets started. That's what I thought too. Once it got growing, once the heat started to come and the vines started taking off, I actually had to move them. They're in containers. I actually had to move them so that I would know that they would have, enough space. Is it too early to start fall seeds indoors? Okay, so the thing with fall seeds, what you want to do is you want to figure your when is your first frost date? Okay, so I'll give you an example. My first frost date is October 22nd. So I gotta get my calculator out. You gotta do some math when you're starting fall seeds. Um, you figure out your first frost date, okay? So mine's October 22nd. Or you can look at a calendar. That's probably easier. So I'll look at my calendar. All right, so I'm going to go from the 22nd. You want to count backwards 14 weeks, okay? That's when you want to start your seeds because once you start your seeds, you wait 6 weeks and then you transplant your seeds out. And then you have from your 6 week mark all the way, you have a full 8 weeks for those plants to grow and mature, which is going to give you, like at least 60 days. Fall crops are usually less. maturing time. So you want to try to choose something that's like 60 to 75 days maturity so that you make sure that you have time for that plant to mature. So judging from the 22nd, I would count back 8 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So August 27th would be my transplant date. So I can put my fall crops out in the garden August 27th. Okay. But I need to start my seed 6 weeks before then. So then I go back another 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My starting date should be July 16th. Okay. So depending on what your first frost date is, that's what you need to figure out if you are going to be trying to figure out when you're going to start your fall crops and also what you're going to start for fall crops. So you have to figure out days to maturity and how much time you have to grow those things because it's going to be hot and you're definitely going to need to start them indoors because it's going to be too hot to start those types of seeds outside. Ever had stink bugs in your garden? I have never had stink bugs in the garden. I've only had squash bugs in the garden, but they do look fairly similar. So there is a similarity to stink bugs and squash bugs, but I've only ever saw stink bugs like around my house, actually, like directly around my house, like around the sunroom. Sometimes they'll be in the sunroom, like, crawling on the wall or whatever. But as far as in the garden, I've never actually seen any issues with stink bugs. I like cantaloupe too. I like cantaloupe. I like honeydew. Hello, Robin. Thanks for coming in. I like the watermelon. Yeah, soap and water for anything that is like a soft bodied insect. The soapy water thing is gonna definitely work for that. But stink bugs, I know diatomaceous earth will work for stink bugs, for squash bugs and stink bugs. But the thing with diatomaceous earth, it has to be dry in order for it to work. So if you end up getting rain or if you end up watering, um, the chances of it working are, they're more slim because you want the diatomaceous earth to stay dry, and that's how it works. Hey, Rick, thanks for coming in. October is my first frost date. Yes, same here. October is my first frost date. October 22nd. But lately it's been pretty mild all the way into November. Um, I wouldn't count on that, but it has definitely been mild weather all the way into 1 year. Christmas, it was like 60 degrees. And that's really unusual for here in the Midwest. So, but yeah, I would uh, I would not count on it, even though I know that it has been, you know, a regular thing lately these past few years. Heat index 100 degrees already. Oh yeah, it's like 3:30 here, Central Standard Time, and our peak of the day is usually between about 2 and 4. So I know better than to do anything between 2 and 4 o'clock because that is going to be the hottest time of the day. So I usually between 2 and 4, I definitely don't plan on doing anything or being outside in the garden at all. If I try to if I get some things done, it's usually before the afternoon, or else I will wait till at least 5, 6 o'clock because I don't want to be out too late either because then the mosquitoes are out and then they will just, if it's not one thing, it's another. So yeah, weather is changing so much. Yes. Hello, Virginia fruit grower. How are you? I saw I think I remember the last video of yours that I saw was when you went to the woman's house. I don't remember if she was in Texas or Florida. I don't remember where she was at, but it rained the entire time you were there. I was like, oh my gosh, they're out there in the rain this whole time. Yes, hot, hot. It is that time of year. It is hot. We're on a break from the heat. We just had a week of 90s. Yes, we did too. And heat index of 100 to 102. Definitely. I was just saying, like, I am so glad that it finally rained because it could fill up my, oh, it was Texas. Okay. Yeah, that was, I was like, wow, they are really braving that rain. It was raining. I mean, it was raining down a lot, but, and you guys had a lot to cover in that video. I was like, wow. And then when she went in the back, I was like, sheesh, like you could see the front of her house and everything looked so nice. And you could barely tell that those things were like edible plants, like that was food. But then when she went in the back, I was like, oh, wow. Like she really has a lot of stuff there. That was really nice. I enjoyed that little tour. Triple digits here all week. Yes. Oh my gosh, Gail. Please stay hydrated. Hey Jan, how are you? I hope you guys are doing well today. Maryland here. Okay. Oh, Maryland. Oh, that's where Gary is in Maryland. Gary the Rusted Garden. hmm I did a I did a live with Gary and Joe, Garden State Gardener, not too long ago. Gary's pretty cool. 68 here now. It was in the 90s last week. It's like 88 here right now, I think. And sunny. When it's overcast, it makes a difference. The sun is not beating down on you, but then it also makes, it makes for a humidity to be higher. So I think I would rather it be like a dry heat than a humid heat because humidity is the worst. It's like you can't even breathe out there. It's terrible. All right, so I wanted to talk about wish what is it? I wish I could be chilling at home at 3:30. Yeah. West Tennessee. I have a mint giveaway coming up, guys. Okay, so I put out a registration video so that I could get lots of comments on the video. That way, I could put everybody's name on a wheel. And then when I get ready to do that giveaway, then I will have everybody's comments from the registration video. It's a short, so it might not have come up on like a notification or something like that because it was a short. So a lot of people said, oh, I didn't see the video. I didn't get a notification. So I think that was because it's a short and it's not an actual long video. So next time I know better and I'll make it a longer video, at least like a 2-minute video or something like that. But yeah, I do have a registration video and it's a giveaway for chocolate mint. Okay. Usually I try to give a mint giveaway at least once a year. And if you already have the chocolate mint, because I have done it before, and some people still have the chocolate mint that I have already given away before, I also have a mojito mint. So if you need mojito mint instead of chocolate mint, we can work that out as well. But it's a cutting, it's a mint cutting. And I just take the mint cuttings out of my existing mint plants and I package them up. I have a whole video on how I package them and send them out for giveaways and stuff. So look on my channel in the shorts section, okay? And there should be a short for the mint giveaway. So on the video in the comment section, you have to comment hashtag summer mint 24. I believe that's the hashtag. Hashtag summer mint 24. And then what I'll do is I'll do a giveaway and use the giveaway tool and all that stuff. Or maybe I'll do the wheel. I haven't decided, how I'm going to do that yet. So, but yeah, make sure that you guys comment on that so that I can uh, include you in. I seen that video. Good. I can include you in the giveaway. I love to give things away, you guys. I am like, oh, I tried to get some chocolate mint here, but it's hard to get. Maybe next year. Where are you at, Karen? Did you say Maryland or was that someone else? That was you, wasn't it? You said you were in Maryland, right? Definitely comment on the it's Tuber Chat. Hey Kevin. Thanks for coming in. Our treasured home. Thank you, thank you. Thank you guys for coming in. Um I wish I had a pool. Man, I would love to have a pool right now, right about now. Hey, Mona, thanks for coming in. Yeah, so I am going to be doing that chocolate mint giveaway again this year. Thank you, Suzanne, for posting that. There is the link for the mint giveaway. So if you guys want to comment on that and be entered in the drawing for the mint giveaway, then go ahead and check that. It's a short, it's, less than a minute long. So um, check it out. Gail left her comment. Um, yeah, I think I've gotten quite a few comments on it by now. But yeah, I'll probably try to do that by next week. I don't want to mail it out during a week when it's like scorching hot, but I think that in the forecast, it should be a fairly decent day. I mean, a few days, like between Thursday and Saturday, we are not supposed to get too hot. Like Thursday, 73. Um, Friday's only going to be 78. So yeah, I'll probably try to do that giveaway when it's something like that. When there's a couple days in there when I can mail it out and it's not super hot. Either way, though, the the cuttings usually do pretty well in the mail, and they have roots on them already, so it's not like they're just a cutting off of the plant. It's already a rooted cutting. So I just wrap it up in like a little piece of either like a wet paper towel or I actually have these little like baggies. They're like tea bags. And what I'll do is I'll put some soil in the bag and then I'll put the mint cutting in there and put that into like a plastic Ziploc bag. Not zip it closed, but just enough to hold the moisture. So it usually does pretty well. So, and everybody who has gotten chocolate mint, um, they have. I think they still have it. Well, I don't know. There was somebody else who said that they let it die. The cutting does get in the mail. My mint is still strong. I hope I win again. Yeah, see, okay, so Mona had some mint. I know Gail had some mint. I think I sent Jan some mint. Um, so yeah, I do want to get that mint giveaway on again. Like I said, I have the chocolate mint that I love to give that away because it's so prolific. That plant is just really prolific. So I try to thin it out by giving away the cuttings. Um, and then I also have the mojito mint. So if you already have chocolate mint and you would prefer the mojito mint, then we can always do that because I know I have done the chocolate mint giveaway, more than a couple times. So some people already have the chocolate mint. I killed mine. Oh no, and Jan's mint died too. Okay, so then they probably need to get in on the giveaway so that they can get some more. Is it a perennial? Mint is definitely a perennial, Jamie. Mint, you have to put your mint in a container. Mint will take over, and I'm sure you already know that, but mint will take over an area and it will keep coming back more and more and more, and it just multiplies every time it comes back. So that's usually why I like, that's usually why I try to thin it out and give it away. I was wanting to do a 4 o'clock giveaway. Okay, Gail. Yeah, maybe we should do a collab and we should do a live together and just give away 4 o'clocks and mint and all the good things. Yes, I want mint everywhere. I love mint. I love mint. My mint is exploding. Yes, it does. That's why I usually, as I've said, that's why I try to give it away. I've got my raspberries you can't see, but I harvested a bunch of raspberries the other day. Oh, they were so good. So good. So it's a really good year for raspberries. If you're growing raspberries this year, I don't doubt that it's a good year for your raspberries. Now I can ask Jan for a cutting of hers. That mint don't die, it multiplies. Right. I lost my internet connection for a while. Oh, Christy, thanks for coming back in. Looks refreshing. Thanks. So, are you guys going to grow a fall garden? I am. Jamie asked about starting fall seeds. Hello, Growing with Hudson. How are you? I missed your live the other day, but I'm going to catch it on the replay. I was surprised when I saw it in my feed. I was like, "Oh, she's back," because I know you were taking a break for a little while. But I'm glad to see you back. So I am going to catch the replay on your live. I have a watch later playlist that I play when I'm in the car, or if I'm waiting somewhere, if I'm just any time that I have to waste, or to if I'm killing time, or you know time available, then I always hit my watch later list. I'm hoping our greenhouse is built before fall. Oh, that would be great. I had a greenhouse and it got destroyed in the wind. It was my fault. It was my fault. It was a great greenhouse. It was an out sunny greenhouse, so it wasn't expensive, and I put it all together myself. And it was a great greenhouse, and I left it unzipped, and we had some really bad winds that day. And I don't know, it slipped my mind that the greenhouse was even open. And by the time I went out there, the frame, I had really, reinforced the frame into the ground, like not into the ground, but I pinned it with the stakes. They were 12-inch stakes all the way around the frame. Plus, I had cinder blocks, on all the corners, and yeah, so it wasn't going anywhere. But because it was reinforced and because the wind was so high, the top of it, the cover flew like halfway off, and the frame of it just like really bent. It it bent. It was not the same. And I ended up I took it all down. So I was kind of sad about that because it was a really great greenhouse, and it wasn't expensive. And I had, I did that, put it all together myself. Gail says, what do you grow in the fall? So, what I'm planning on growing in the fall, I'm planning on starting a lot of seeds for greens that I plan to let self seed. Okay. I want to fill up some of the beds in my garden with greens that will just self seed and come back on their own every year. Okay. Because I don't want to have to keep planting collards. I don't want to have to plant, well, I never really plant kale, it just comes back all the time. But this year I ripped everything out and I totally revamped the garden, so now I don't have any kale, so I do have to plant that. But yeah, so red vein sorrel, regular sorrel, white Russian kale, uh, spinach, mustards, chard. I love Swiss chard. Chard, all the kales. So the dino kale, the red Russian, the white Russian, the thousand head kale, all of the kales. The Asian greens like pak choi, um, the Asian cabbages, radishes, definitely radishes, because radishes are good to plant in areas where you might have had some pest damage or some pest pressure. Radishes in that area are kind of like growing onions in that area or garlics in that area. Definitely garlic and onion for the fall. Turnips, and I grow turnips not necessarily for the turnip, even though the turnip is good. I grow the turnip for the greens because I like turnip greens. And then mash. This year I'm going to grow mash for the first time. I have a ton of mash seeds. So I'll probably do a giveaway for that too. But mash is a really interesting plant. Okay, so it's a tender salad green. Okay, and it grows best in like cool weather, just like any other salad green grows. It doesn't get big; it only gets like 1 to 2 feet tall, and it's hardy in like every zone. So it prefers cool weather though. Okay, there are different varieties of mash. There's a couple varieties that you can grow in the summer, but the one I have is it grows in the cool weather, and it's like uh, it has these little rosettes that grow on them. Here, I think I have a picture. Let me see. I think I have a picture of mosh, and you probably have already seen it. Um, Here we go. All right, let me share this picture. So I'm planning on growing this mosh because it grows so well in the cool weather. So look at how beautiful that is. It's just like like salad greens or whatever, but it just grows better because it adapts and thrives in the cool weather. Um, so yeah, I'm planning on growing that. Like I said, there's two types. There's the large seed and then there's a small seed. So the large seed grows well in the warmer months, like it'll resist bolting like all the way through June. But then the small seed likes, like late fall or early spring. So that's when I'm gonna sow that, and I'm just gonna direct sow that. I'm not going to start that indoors or anything because the soil temperature, um, only has to be like 50 degrees for that to germinate. It takes a while to germinate. So what I'll probably do is soak the seed overnight and then plant the seed. But you can just broadcast it. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about spacing or anything like that. It doesn't need a lot of fertilizing. It doesn't need a lot of anything really. It can grow in low light. It can grow in, full sun to part shade. But yeah, it's a really great plant, and I'm planning on growing that this year too. So yeah, let's see. I'm hoping our greenhouse is built before fall. I'm still germinating seeds for my summer garden. 60s here. Yeah, we still have time. We still have time. Like I said, my first frost date is until October, so I still have you know something like 100 days left to grow. So I can definitely grow some things, some summer crops that are quick maturing. I mean, if you think about it, zucchini seeds, what, their maturity date is like 50 days, maybe 40. Some of them are even sooner than that if you grow the small, like round ones or like the short ones. Yeah. And the great thing about fall gardening is there's less pest damage because the life cycle of the pests, it's already passed. The weather is more comfortable. You can get outside, you can stay outside for longer periods of time, and you can grow things that you normally would try to grow in the spring. Like I cannot grow things in the spring because just when I think that I'm going to get a harvest from something, the weather drastically changes. It gets so hot and things just bolt just like that. So yeah, it's like a waste for me. I don't even bother. I don't even try to plant um, broccolis or cabbages or anything like that because it just doesn't work out. I'm just in a bad area where the climate is, you know, it quickly changes. I'm not back, but want to share about the Leaf of Life plant and an update. Oh, okay. Fall plants, root vegetables, greens, cabbage. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely the greens, the leafy greens. So that, like I said, that's part of my plan because I want to have more of a self-sustaining uh, garden. I'm definitely going to have, always going to have those annuals that you're going to have to plant, like, the zucchinis and the melons and things like that. Yes, mosh will take a frost. Um, yes, and it will be great in cold frames, and you can grow it all year long. Um, Impatient with seeds that take a while to germinate. I think Gail gets impatient with seeds too, because if she doesn't see the seeds popping up, she goes out and throws more seeds out there. Two more zucchini seeds. Yeah, so that's, yes, we still have enough time that we can we can succession sow some things. So I just succession sowed some more, some sugar baby watermelons, some more cucumbers. I think I did a Space Master, and I might have did some more Be It Alpha. Um, I did some canary melons, and oh, and I have to transplant my okra still. I almost forgot about that. I just thought about it right now. I have to transplant that okra. But I did plant more beans. I succession sowed some more peas. The peas did really good for me this year. They usually fizzle out really quickly, but yeah, yeah. So there is a such a thing called a summer crisp lettuce. Okay, and it's specifically for the summer, and it will not bolt. So there are like a handful of varieties that you can grow. Want to go for a tractor ride? Okay, thanks for coming in, Rick. Take care of those grandsons. Make those memories. I direct sowed some chamomile seeds, but nothing has come up at all. Disappointing. Yeah, chamomile. Some things, like the chamomile, I think I'm gonna have to winter sow. So I was having that type of trouble when I was trying to grow my lavender. And I had tried to grow it like twice before and nothing happened. So I was like, okay, when I don't get the germination that I want from a seed, I resort to winter sowing. So basically, when you are winter sowing, you're putting them seeds out in a jug, out in the winter, in the cold, and they will lay dormant the whole time, that they're out there until it is time for those things to naturally sprout. Okay. So as if it was in nature. All right. They know when it's time to grow. So I will put them in a milk jug, seal it up. You leave the top open so that it can get moisture. Make sure there's holes in the bottom. And that's it. You just put it outside and you leave it and you set it and you forget it. And then come springtime, when things are starting to, when the snow is melted and things are, some of the days are now in the 50s and 40s and 50s, you can check on those plants and you might be surprised that they are already sprouting. But when I have trouble uh, germinating seeds, I resort to winter sowing because my sage that I winter sowed, it it comes back every year. My oregano comes back every year. It's like it was bred to withstand the conditions of the outside. So instead of starting those indoors or trying to direct sow them and wait for them, they have already acclimated to the outside. They have already acclimated to the weather conditions, for the area per se. So I love to winter sow things. I just don't always make time to do it. Lavender is one of the seeds that has to be cold stratified. So I think lavender has to have at least, I want to say about 2 months of stratification. Like it's got to be in a cold for 2 months before it will um, sprout. That's why uh, winter sowing is great because any seed that needs cold stratifying, it's going to get stratified out there in the winter. I need to try that. I had 3 lavender seeds come up and died. Yeah, and lavender doesn't like to be wet. Okay. Yeah, lavender doesn't like to be wet. It's a Mediterranean, like sage, lavender, rosemary. Those are like dry herbs. They don't like to be wet. So they don't like a lot of water. And we had a pretty rainy start to the spring. It was raining a lot in some areas. So that could have been why. My chamomile never flowered. It got too hot here. I finally got one lavender and one rosemary growing. Okay. Yes, great idea. Thanks. You are welcome. Never tried germinating lavender. Yeah, I did it. And can you overwinter lavender? My lavender dies and comes back every year. So I'm in zone 6A. I had to think about that for a second because I was 5B. I'm in zone 6A. So you definitely should be able to grow lavender, Dale, because you're drier. You're in a drier area than I am. It's up but not flourishing. Yeah, sometimes just lavender is pretty finicky. So you got to find the right spot for it. You got to find a spot where it's not going to get too wet and it's going to stay pretty fairly dry until you decide to water it. So maybe lavender in a raised bed would be better. All my flower seeds are kept in the fridge. Yep. My flower seeds were all kept in my sunroom in the winter, so they were all out there in the cold pretty much all winter. All my seeds were, not just my flowers. I had left all, well, and I left some of the seeds out in the shed too, because I have seeds everywhere. Lavender doesn't flower for 2 or 3 years. I planted it a couple years ago, and this year it flowered. Yeah, the each year I noticed that each year the flowers on my lavender get a little bit bigger, and they get a little bit like a deeper purple. So yeah. Hey Charles, Bushcraft family, what's up? I'm just doing this live just because I need to. It's been such a long time. Like I go on other people's lives and then I don't do my own lives, and I need to stop doing that. I need to do my own lives. All my stuff is still so small, but it has sprouted. Well, not everything. My sunflower is getting taller. Oh, my sunflower. I have sunflowers growing out there, but my mammoth sunflower is not looking very mammoth like. It looks like it's going to already get ahead on it, and it's not tall at all. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it was um, not a mammoth sunflower seed, but it was in a mammoth sunflower package. Um, so I don't know. Or it could be the area because that bed, I've already mentioned it in some of the videos that I've took for the garden tours. I'm not happy with that bed. Things just don't grow well there. My okra did well there. And I did have some sunflower seeds in the previous years that did very well there. But yeah, you have a talking sunflower. Mine flowered this year. Only one flower though. I started it from seed this year. Okay. My mammoth sunflowers are going to have multiple flowers per stalk. Nice. One year I had so many beautiful sunflowers. I had the autumn beauty sunflowers. I had the small sunspot and the teddy bear sunflowers. I had the big, you know, what were they called? They weren't the mammoth sunflower. Um, oh, I can't remember what it was. My mind's drawn a blank. But it did have multiple heads on it. It had multiple heads on it. The autumn beauty did not, but it was very much a beauty. Yes, it was. I definitely have to plant some of those before the end of this month. I thought it was the dwarf sunflower that I planted, but it could be the mammoth one. And the opposite. I wanted to have this mammoth sunflower for the Grow Big challenge, so I might have to plant another one just to be on the safe side because um, this one doesn't look very mammoth at all. My sunflowers are doing great. As a matter of fact, I need to stake them up. That was one thing I used my um, yes, a lot of root space. And I think the bed that I have it in, um, I think that bed is really compacted for some reason. And I don't understand why, because I put the same things in that bed as I put in every other bed. But for some reason, that bed always seems like it's compacted. And I don't use anything but compost. So I don't understand why it feels like that. Because I think I I from what I can gather, like things that have deep roots, they don't do well in that bed, even though I keep trying and I want them to. Yes, did you remember to smash the like button? Sure did, Jamie. I can't seem to grow sunflowers. I think the birds eat the seeds. They do get a hold of them seeds. I planted nasturtiums everywhere and I didn't get any nasturtiums. So I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if they eat nasturtium seeds, but I mean they probably do. Oh, maybe it was the yeah, maybe it was that one. I don't remember. I guess I could probably go over there and look at my seeds, but I don't feel like it. Gray striped sunflower. Nice. Oh, and then I did have some, the black oil sunflowers had seeded themselves from the bird feeder. So I wonder if those are going to make it. They look like they're going to be okay. Some of them died already or they got eaten. But around the base of, like around on the ground by the bird feeder, I have a few sunflowers that are growing from the bird feeder. Last time I grew sunflowers, little black caterpillars ate them up. Yeah, some people are having that issue this year, but I've never seen it. Oh no, Jan! The Japanese beetles have arrived here. Oh no. Uh, I'm gonna have to put something on mine too, because they tore mine up last year, and I didn't get any grapes last year either because it was terrible. It was bad. It was really bad. And I was going out there and I had my bucket of soapy water and I was just, knocking them all off. And then what I did was I took the ones that I knocked off. I put those in the blender, okay, because I read that Japanese beetles will smell the pheromones of the dead beetles and then it'll be like a deterrent. So I took all those dead beetles and I blended them up and put them into a spray and I sprayed the grapevines with that. Didn't help. They still came. Hey Maritza, thank you for coming in. Oh, found tomato hormones yesterday. Oh, guys, it is bad when when you are, nurturing these plants and growing these plants, and they just start to get to looking really healthy and beautiful. And then you go out there and you see all these pests, and it's so heartbreaking to see that, all of your efforts are almost like not all of your efforts, but your efforts are, you know, being taken away. Treat the grass with milky spore. Yeah. So I did see that a couple years ago that it does work. And Jan has that too. She's got some of that. So she said she's been treating her ground with the milky spores and it's been helping. So, oh my gosh. Put a product down that Joel told me about for grubs and beetles, so I guess I need to put more down. Yep. And it's that milky spore stuff. Hmm. Hello, backyard trucker. Nice to see you. Yes, Gail's sunflowers are doing awesome. Mammoth sunflowers are growing well. I did Mexican red velvet and teddy bear. Oh, red velvet. Was that one I grew? I don't know. I think it was actually the chocolate cherry was the other red one I did. The autumn beauty. I think it did chocolate cherry, but I can't remember what the name of that yellow one was. It was not a mammoth sunflower. I know that. A lot of gardens in the area have penny looking tomato. Oh, yeah. The nursery, I just went to the nursery today to see because they were having 50% off on all of their annuals. So I just stopped in because I had some time to waste after the dentist and I stopped in to see what they had. And yeah, they have tons of tomato plants that they just look really bad. I was like, oh, wow. I would feel sorry for anyone who actually bought those tomato plants. Even though tomato plants are really resilient and they pretty much grow like weeds. Yeah, when there's large property to treat, yep. Huge horned worm when I was staking my tomatoes up. It became chicken food. Good thing you found it before it decimated your tomato plant because them things work fast. They eat fast. My tomatoes don't look nearly as good this year. They were so much better last year. Oh, tomatoes were like that last year. Yeah, my tomatoes seem like they're taking a while to take off. And my cherry tomatoes did not do well. And that was pretty shocking. Like I got the sweet 100 tomatoes and I bought starts this year. I don't usually grow my tomatoes from seed because I don't like to do a lot of seed starting indoors. So I usually get um, the Mountain Spring, and what are the other ones I get? The Rutgers, I think. I think Rutgers and Mountain Spring are the two tomatoes I usually get. And then I always get the Sweet 100 or Sweet Million. Those two are my favorite cherry tomato. And yeah, my cherry tomatoes, they don't look good. They don't look good. But I've been pruning them and feeding them. So maybe this heat wave that came through was early, and they're because they're so small still, they kind of really got stressed out. So I'm just gonna keep at it, and hopefully they'll bounce back. But they didn't look very good either. My big tomatoes look good, but not my cherry tomatoes. Tomatoes are so big and loaded this year. Praise God. After last year, I didn't want to grow anymore. Oh, I'm glad, Jan. Hello, G Mama grows in the garden. Grows hard in the garden. Okay. Thanks for coming in. I bought tomato plants this year, just had no place to start seeds. Yeah, I have no problem buying tomato starts. I'm not, you know, I like the ones that the nursery near me grows. The one variety, it's called Mountain Spring, and they did really well for me last year and the year before. So I definitely grow that one every year, the Mountain Spring. I go there specifically to look for that variety. It's a nice size tomato. Like a uniform um, shape. It resists cracking. I had no disease on it whatsoever. It did really like that tomato did better than any of the other tomatoes in my garden. So I was like, that definitely is the tomato for my garden because it did the best. So when you're growing things and you're trying different varieties, you have to make note like what varieties are doing the best in your garden because everybody can't grow every variety. Certain varieties will do better in different areas or different, climates. So everybody can't grow the same tomatoes. Everybody can't grow the same peppers. So the Mountain Spring definitely is a winner in my garden, and the Rutgers has always done good too. 30 tomato plants. You know what, Christy? I'm guilty of that today. I'm guilty of that as well. When I first started out, I was like crazy with all the varieties. Like I just wanted to grow everything. I wanted to grow all the varieties, and then it was just so overwhelming. By the time it came time to harvest, it was so overwhelming that I was like, why did I do this to myself? So a lot of times what you have to do is gardening takes some planning, okay? It's not as easy as I mean it can be easy, but it's when you're trying to grow strategically to get the best harvest and to maximize your space, you want to space out your harvests. So you don't want all of your crops coming into maturity at the same time. And then you're overwhelmed with trying to harvest and preserve and making sure that nothing goes to waste. So when you're planting, you want to try to plant varieties that come into maturity at different times. So some tomatoes will mature in like 60 days, like the early girl or, different early varieties will mature early, like 65 to 70 days. So those will be your first fruits. And then you'll have like a midsection where those tomatoes won't mature until like 80 to 90 days, maybe. So then you have a space in between the time when those first fruits come in until the time when the next harvest comes in. So you want to try to categorize your things to where the maturity dates are similar. So if I know that my beans are going to come in like 30 to 45 days, then I'm also going to have radishes coming in at that time and so on and so forth. So then I will know that this is what I'm going to be harvesting at this time. And then the next wave will be like, instead of 30 to 45 days, it'll be like 50 to 65 days or, 65 to 70 or 65 to 80 days. You know what I mean? So when you're doing your planning for your garden, you have to plan according to maturity dates. That way you don't overwhelm yourself, and then you have time and space, and then you can enjoy your garden. You can enjoy your harvest. You can enjoy, the whole gardening experience. This is my first season with the Super Sweet 100 tomatoes. Only one seedling thriving. Yeah, see, and they normally did well for me every other year. This is the first year that they have not done well. I was so glad for winter when I had that many tomatoes. I bet you were like, man, I'm so done with this. San Marzanos, Salvatierra, Mariana, Roma, Atomic Grapes, and a few others I can't think of the names of. So I grew the Atomic Grapes, and they were okay. They were beautiful tomatoes. But for me, they were like, the skins were a little bit tough for me. So I don't like a tomato that's too crunchy and I like to snack on my little tomatoes when I'm in the garden. So the Atomic Grapes they were a little bit too hard for me, I guess. And that's probably why they call them Atomic Grapes, because sometimes grapes can be like that, like crunchy. Like if you get a good green grape and it's like crunchy, now that I like. But tomatoes, those Atomic Grapes, I didn't, like I said, they were okay. They were good. They were flavorful. But the skins for me were just a little bit too thick for a small tomato like that. I like my small, tomatoes to be thin skinned so that I can snack on them easier. Doing well. I might get that variety again. That's good, Gail. Yeah, those ones look like they are doing good for you. Mercy, those hens are proud of that egg they just laid. Oh, chicken. Uh, Salvatierra. Yeah, I don't like real thick skin. Yeah, I don't like a thick tomato skin on mine either. I like to have it like a thin, very thin skin. So, especially the small ones. Now, the bigger ones, it's okay sometimes because I just, those ones just get put into like diced tomato or those things get cooked anyway. So, most of them. Um, so, yeah. But yeah, guys, it's been over an hour. I told myself I was just going to do an hour today. So thank you guys for coming in. I am going to call it a day. But like I said, don't forget to go and comment on the mint giveaway that I have on my channel. It's a short, and make sure that you comment hashtag summer mint 24 so that you can be entered in the giveaway. And what I'll do is I will say next Monday, same time, 3 p.m., we'll do the giveaway for the mint. So make sure that you share it out, get everyone on board with commenting on the video so they can get entered in the drawing. And I'm going to probably do 10 or more giveaways for that chocolate mint. So lots of mint to give away. And if you already have the chocolate mint that I sent you from previous giveaways, then we can do mojito mint. I think I have the mojito. Is it mojito mint? I can't even remember what kind it is. I want to say it's mojito mint. It's either mojito or mountain. It's one of the M's. Mojito, I think. But that's it, guys. Thank you guys all for coming in. I truly appreciate the support. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I go live next Monday, same time, 3 p.m. Central, for the mint giveaway. All right. Thanks, guys. Awesome live stream. Thank you. Have a good day. God bless. Enjoyed the visit. I did too. Hope everyone has a good day, and see you next time.